displace the accumulated weight of years of thinking otherwise. You have had so many other messages competing for your attention, so many voices that told you the opposite of what I am telling you now, that you have to fight for what you deserve, because nothing is ever truly freely given, that every blessing has a fine print, that the abundant life is for people who have it more together than you do. The world speaks that language with impressive fluency, and it gets into your bones through the accumulated experience of disappointments and unanswered questions and seasons where things were harder than they should have been. I understand why trust does not come easily. I am not standing over you with impatience at the slowness of your believing. My invitation today is not to try harder at faith, not to push yourself toward a more impressive level of trust, as though trust were a performance you could improve with enough effort. My invitation is simply this: sit down. The table is set. The seat has your name on it. The food is already prepared. Not because you have earned it, because you belong here, because you are my child. Parents do not make their children earn a place at the family table. The table is simply set. The seat is simply there. The meal is already made, and whatever struggles a child has had during the day, whatever failures and missteps and poor choices, they do not change the setting at the table. The child belongs there because the child is the parent's child. Full stop. You are my child. Full stop. Come and sit. There is a contrast I want to draw for you, and I am asking you to hold both sides of it honestly, without collapsing one into the other, without pretending either of them is not real. On one side, the world as you have been living it, the version of your days that can feel cramped and tight and uncertain, the one where unexpected expenses arrive before the resources do, where the opportunity you had been watching for quietly went to someone else, where the door you spent months approaching stayed closed when you finally knocked on it, where the plan you made with real care and genuine intention fell apart in ways you did not anticipate and cannot entirely explain. That version of your life is real. Those experiences are real. The weariness they have produced in you is real. I am not asking you to perform a cheerful denial of any of it. Hold that in one hand. In the other hand, hold this: a Father who owns every resource in existence. Not a God who has a generous budget and tries to allocate it wisely. A God for whom the very concepts of scarcity and insufficiency do not apply, because He is the source from which all things flow, not a vessel containing a finite amount. A Creator who made the rain to fall on fields that had never been planted by human hands, and who coaxed flowers from desert soil that had known nothing but drought, simply because it is the nature of a giving Creator to cause things to grow where growth seems impossible. A God who looked at the widow of Zarephath, a foreign woman in desperate material circumstances, and said, "I am sending provision to her house, not to the temple in Jerusalem, not to the palace of the king, to a widow's house," to the exact address where scarcity was most concentrated. Which of these two realities is more foundational? Both are real in different senses. Your circumstances are real, and they matter. But how long have they been as they currently are? A season, a year, perhaps several years, a chapter in a story that is longer and larger than you can see from inside the chapter you are currently living. My nature, by contrast, has been exactly what it is since before time was measured, since before the first particle of matter existed to be arranged into the universe you live in. My generosity predates every difficulty you have ever faced. It will outlast every challenging season you will ever walk through. It is the bedrock beneath everything that shifts and changes and feels uncertain. So I am asking you, gently and tenderly, not as a demand, but as an invitation. Which of these realities are you building your life on top of? The one that changes with the seasons, or the one that does not? What would it feel like to truly anchor yourself to the bedrock of my nature? To wake and find your first thought moving not immediately toward the list of things that are lacking or uncertain or frightening, but toward the Father who is already at work before your eyes are open? What would it feel like to move through the day not as someone scraping at the edges of enough, wondering whether the blessing is going to show up this time, but as someone who is already seated at a table that has been set with extraordinary care, someone who is already in the house